What if you could go from meh to magazine-ready portraits in under a minute without even touching Photoshop? We're talking blemishes gone, nice and even skin tone throughout, and no greasiness or shine on the model's face. If this is something you've faced, Retouch4Me have sent me some plugins to try out that promise to fix all of these issues. So let's see if they can deliver. So full disclosure, Retouch4Me has sent me these plugins to try for free in exchange for making this video. They've not sent me any guidance on what to say, they've not seen the script, and they're not going to see the video before it's published. Everything you hear is my real world experience and my opinion. What they did ask me to say is that there is a 20% discount using the affiliate link in the description if these are plugins that you're interested in and want to buy. But check out to see if they're what you need first. So I'm testing 3 plugins today: Heal, Dodge and Burn, and Mattifier. The reason I'm trying these ones, there's a few others that you can check out on Retouch4Me. These are the ones that I chose to try out because they're the ones that are going to be most useful in my work, which is commercial portraiture. And spoiler alert, these plugins feel like cheating, but in the very best way. The programs themselves are very lightweight. They don't take up much space on your hard drive, which is an added bonus. Retouch4Me's website actually say that you can get a panel in Photoshop. So these actually install as plugins in Photoshop, and you can install a panel where you can access these plugins or whichever plugins you've purchased in Photoshop. But if you, like me, think that Adobe is the devil, then you can use these as standalone plugins as well, which is perfect. It means you're not tied to any programs, and I can send them on a round trip from Capture One, which is the program that I use. The first program we're going to try is Heal, and this basically is going to remove blemishes, spots, things that we don't want on our model's skin. I'm using photographs that I've taken from a stock website. I'm not comfortable using my clients' photos showing you before and after the retouching process. I don't think it's fair on them. These models have uploaded these photos to the internet to be used, so I'm more comfortable using these ones. I'll put the name of the photographer on screen if you like their work. So this is the photo I'm going to use for Heal, and as you can see, there's quite a few spots that we would remove before this photo is ready to send to the client. And what we do in Capture One is use the Remove Spot tool. You could use drawing a healing mask or even clone stamping. I find that the Remove Spot in Capture One is very effective. So we'd go through the whole process of selecting every single spot and adjusting the size to make sure we're not affecting skin that doesn't need to be cloned over, to make sure that we don't smooth out the skin too much. So as you can see, that process is very time consuming, and we also get a bit of smudging and blurring. So let's instead try and send this to Heal to have it work its magic. So I'm going to go to Edit with Retouch4Me, Heal. And here we are. It's loaded up in Heal. It's very, very quick. So I'm going to take you through the features within the program itself, just as a quick overview. Over here in the top left, we have a hold to view the original photo. So you just click on that to have a before and after. This one is pan and zoom, which is already set. So when you're zooming in, you can move it around. And then we can click on here and we can see the mask and the areas that have been affected by the program. Looking at all the blemishes, those white spots. You can also erase it over here, and we can have that you can invert the mask and actually draw it in yourself. So basically, everywhere that's red is being affected by the program, and all those little white spots are where it's identified blemishes that it's removed. Down here, we have the sensitivity, so you can actually take it down, and you can see in real time the different blemishes that it's affecting. So I'm going to take it all the way up to 100. And down here we have instructions as well for the machine learning, which is basically saying auto, detect yourself, or we can say that it's close-up portrait, half length, full length. Yeah, it's obviously a close-up portrait, so we're going to click on that one, help it out. So if we do before and after, we can actually see that it is removing some freckles and I think a mole or a scar just up there. And that is a permanent feature, so I want to put that back in. So let's zoom up to there. And then you can see it is just in this area over here. So we'll go to erase, and you can also keep it on brush and then just right click to erase an area. And then you can hold that down and you can see, yep, it's bringing it back. And then we can pan and zoom over here. One thing that doesn't get rid of is the kind of red patches of skin underneath. That's something that you might need to use another program for, or dodge and burn yourself. So now let's see what else. So we're losing freckles here in the nose as well, and I want to keep the freckles because freckles are nice. All right, so we're gonna just clear out that whole section and be super scruffy. I don't care. We're gonna click in the spots that we leave out. So take it back to pan and zoom. Have we left any blemishes in? Yes, so we're going to draw one just over there. Just that one. As you can see, there's some freckles that are going, but it's mostly blemishes, and that was a very, very quick process. And I can see there's a little bit over here that I'd like to get rid of. There's that tiny vein, so we're going to brush that back in. Nice. So, without me explaining that, that would be a super, super quick process and much, much quicker than doing it all manually. We're going to save that, and we can go back to Capture One, whichever program you're using, and then you have a before and after right there. Super quick. Heal is an excellent plugin, works very quick. It's very simple. I really like that it's just like a slider, brush in and erase the mask. Very quick, very easy to use. I shoot staff portraits in batches, and I used to have to manually clone every blemish. Now I just mask out the permanent features and let Heal do the rest. So that is a lot of time saved, depending on the size of the shoot. The next plugin we're going to check out is Dodge and Burn. This one was a surprise. I didn't ask for it originally when I said I want to try out these plugins. Mikhail from Retouch4Me sent it and said, you're going to want to try this. And you know what? He was right. It is fantastic. So I suck at doing manual dodge and burn, but this plugin, it subtly sculpts the face, it adds depth, it gives you that really polished look in just seconds. So Heal has left out these uneven patches of skin where it's got rid of the blemishes, but we still have these red and pink blotch marks on the skin. So that's something we're going to want to get rid of to get that nice polished look. So we're going to edit with Dodge and Burn. Gives us another TIFF, so make sure you have plenty of space on your hard drive. All right, so as soon as we load up, we can see it has smoothed out the skin, made it really nice and even, giving us that nice professional magazine-ready look. And we have the same settings here on the side, where you can see the before and after. There's a new one where you can hold to view the mask, and you can actually see where it's what it's doing and how it's affecting. So whether it's lightening, whether it's darkening, what it's doing. And then we have the brushes, eraser, and invert the mask again. So with this one, we have two different sliders at the bottom. We have blend, which we can actually just ease in the effect to see how far we'd like it. You can go extreme and have a very plasticky look. I actually find that the default at 100 is really nice. It's really subtle. It looks really good. The other slider is to add warmth back into the areas that you've affected. So giving that nice glow, making sure it's not looking too cold in certain patches, I suppose. As you can see, the difference is huge in what it does to the photo. If we look at the dark patch under her eyes, gently evened out. It's really, really good. I mean, just this area right over here, where there were a lot of blemishes, that's now completely smoothed out. You would never know that that was the shot before, and I'll show you the before and after both processes so you can see just how much it's affecting the photo and just how good it looks. I mean, there's very little else to talk about. It's very simple, it's very quick. So I'm gonna save that one and we'll go see the before and after. There you go, so there's the original photo. There's one we've used Heal on, and there's one we've used Dodge and Burn on. So let's take a look at the before and after for the complete process. It's actually a huge, huge difference, and I think it really, really works very, very well. I think the biggest thing that this program gives me is a lot of confidence when I'm going into a shoot. I used this on some photos that I took at a shoot where the lighting wasn't ideal. I wasn't really happy with the way that they turned out, but it was a big rush. We had to get those portraits done very quickly, as well as doing loads of other things around this huge site. So didn't have much time to set up the lighting. And yeah, I did an okay job with the retouching, but when I used those portraits here, it made a huge difference. It looked like I had taken each person into a fully kitted out studio with the perfect lighting setup. It really gives me a lot more confidence next time I go into an environment where the lighting isn't ideal, that I can get some really great looking portraits and bring out the best in the subject's look and features, and make sure they're happy as well when they see the pictures coming back and they're like, yes, I look pretty good there. So that's a huge thing that the Dodge and Burn plugin gives me. Confidence to get the best even in a bad situation. So I'm really pleased about this plugin, and I think, Mikhail, thank you very much for telling me that I needed to check this one out, because you're absolutely right, it's fantastic. The final plugin we're going to check out is Mattifier, and this is one that I was most excited to get my hands on, because shine from flash or greasy skin is my biggest issue in portraits. The way to fix this is frequency separation. Anybody who's tried this knows that's a nightmare. It's complicated, and every time I do it, I have to rewatch the tutorial or go and look up the steps online. Even the person who taught me how to do it, while they were giving the class, had to go and look up the steps and have them written down because it's difficult to remember. A lot of back and forth, inversion, just frequency separation is a nightmare. Now, Retouch4Me do actually have a free plugin for frequency separation. I'm not trying it. If it's something that you need, go check it out, because if it works as good as these other ones, then it'll be worth it. It's free, so go and get it. However, Mattifier is going to completely erase the need for that. Let's try it on a different photo that has some shine. And these are all from the same photographer. There we go. I think these would be a good example. Okay, so Capture One's actually telling me this is blown out. So let's use this one. Let's go very difficult. Let's go edit. Let's open it in Mattifier. Here we go. All right, and as you can see, it's just fixed it. As soon as I load it in, it's fixed and ready to go. We have the same buttons on this side where you can see quickly before and after, where it's affecting, what elements we want to affect and which ones we don't. If we click and hold this one, you can see where it's impacting the photo. Nice and clear, and exactly the same as the other, and the same down here. So we can go close up. That's going to come down to personal preference. I think I want to keep this shine over here because I quite like that. So I'm going to use the brush. And like I said, you can choose the eraser or the brush, and the opposite effect happens if you right click. So I've chosen the brush, but I'm right clicking here to erase, and that just saves me having to select a different tool. So I've brought back that little shine that was there, and all that I'm getting rid of is this very obvious shine on her nose, and that's just gone. We have another slider here. We can take it down, make it extreme. I doubt you'll find a scenario where you need to take it all the way up to 100. As you can see, it just, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I know what it looks like before, so it looks a little bit drawn in, but we've taken up really extreme, so taking it down to 50, maybe even a little bit higher, it looks really good. And then save it, and it's back in Capture One. As you can see, the before and after, shine, no shine. So Mattifier just fixes it. You drag the slider and it's done. No plastic skin unless you go overboard, just a nice even balance. Now, if you shoot portraits regularly, especially in volume, such as corporate portraits, especially when the lighting isn't ideal, this plugin is a no-brainer. It is fantastic, and I'm really excited to have access to this now. One thing to note is that all of these plugins only support JPEG, PNGs, HEICs, and TIFFs. So no RAW files yet, but most of us will be using this in post after doing our changes. So what I'm most likely to do is edit my photos in Capture One, and then take them on a round trip to this. So it's always going to be sending a TIFF rather than a RAW file. Using TIFFs, they're chunky files, but freedom from Adobe is beautiful. So I'd rather do that than get Photoshop and have them in the panel. If they could introduce a Capture One panel, that would be great. What about reliability? Heal crashed once, but that was because I was hammering the option button like it owed me money instead of pressing command like I wanted to. It's totally my fault, so I wouldn't put that down to the program. So are these plugins worth it? Heal and Mattifier are $124 each. This is at time of recording, and Dodge and Burn is $149. So yeah, it's not pocket change. But if you shoot portraits, weddings, fashion, boudoir, anything with skin, these will pay for themselves every time you save an hour or deliver a cleaner final image. Your client's going to be happier with the stuff that you're sending them, and you're going to be happier having more time to spend actually doing the stuff you enjoy rather than retouching. Unless you enjoy retouching. Some people do. So if you're just starting out with photography and you're time rich and cash poor, learn the manual way. But if you're time poor and project rich, yeah, I'd really recommend getting these plugins. There is the subscription service, but I always prefer to buy perpetual licenses. Most programs that I buy, it's a perpetual license. I have it, I own it, nobody can stop me from doing my work because I haven't got an internet connection. So, choice is yours, but I'd recommend perpetual licenses. Every now and then a tool comes along that doesn't just help your work, it levels it up. And I really think that Retouch4Me's Dodge and Burn and Mattifier really do that. The Heal plugin saves a lot of time, but it does do something that I was able to do before. Dodge and Burn and Mattifier don't just save time, they actually make my photos look better than I was able to deliver before I'd got them. Clients are going to notice the difference in the quality of portraits that I deliver. They're going to look at themselves and go, yeah, I look good. And that confidence boost for them, and as well for me, knowing that I'm not necessarily going to have ideal lighting scenarios every time I go and shoot. It's a win-win. And if Retouch4Me revoked my license to these programs just because I told them that Ocean's 11 is the greatest film of all time and anybody who says otherwise is wrong, well, I'd just buy these 3 again because I think they're really good and are going to save me so much time. But I would use the 20% discount link in the description to do that. I really hope you found this video useful, and if you're considering purchasing these plugins before you came across the video, I hope it's helped guide you in the right direction. Let me know in the comments which plugin would be most useful for your work and why. I thought it was going to be Mattifier, and while that is hugely useful and it's going to save a lot of time and having to use frequency separation, Dodge and Burn just makes a huge difference to those portraits. I can't believe how much better they look after using Dodge and Burn. It's a fantastic plugin, so I really recommend it. In a future video, I'm going to be testing out Retouch4Me's Heal and Dodge and Burn video plugins, so if you're interested in those, watch this space. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in the next video. Take care.